I jolted awake, surrounded by churning seawater. It had been 3 days since I last ate. If this went on, I'd never make it back to land. I had to find food. Just as I was about to lose hope, Tony pulled out the only things he had left: a weapon, a thin rope, and a wooden plank. In 2 minutes, he fashioned a makeshift fishing tool. I grabbed the hook excitedly and proudly showed it to the captain. Then, without waiting for a response, I cast it quickly into the sea. 30 minutes later, suddenly the line yanked downward. I was overjoyed and pulled hard, but the resistance kept growing heavier. The fish was huge. Tony rushed over to help, and together we pulled with all our strength, nearly capsizing the raft. Then the fish thrashed once more, and in an instant it was gone, along with the hook and bait. My eyes burned red as I hastily made another hook and cast again. Small fish swam around it, but refused to bite. Watching that, hunger and rage surged through me. I reeled in the line, trembling, and pulled a small knife from my pocket. The captain tried to stop me,
You put a hole in this raft.
but my craving for food had taken over completely. Ignoring his warning, I stabbed wildly into the water again and again, sea spray splashing on my face, doing nothing to cool the madness inside me. Then suddenly, as I lifted my arm, something below stopped my knife. I had hit something alive. The captain noticed something was wrong and tried to help, but before he could, a deafening crash. A shark burst out of the sea and slammed onto the raft. The entire craft shook violently, almost tipping over. Tony immediately lunged forward, wrapping his limbs around the shark. Using the shark's thrashing momentum, he wrestled to pin it down with his own body. The captain and I joined in, locking it as tightly as we could, and I struck at it again and again. 10 minutes later, the shark finally went limp on the raft. Breathless, the three of us stared at the shark in silence. We hadn't eaten in days. I hurriedly slit open its belly, and a mess of things spilled out. Ignoring the stench, we dug through it desperately. At last, I found a small fish. I lifted my head and devoured it with joy. The flesh was tiny and reeked of salt. But after so many days without food, I had no other choice. After eating, we stuffed the remaining meat into a sock for storage. The sea still stretched endlessly around us, but somehow, I wasn't as afraid anymore. As long as there was something to eat, there was still a chance to survive.